To the MungalowCroonings show. Yeah. Woo! What a day. In fact, what a 2 weeks it has been. Because your baby girl, your baby girl she saw a life. Yes. Oh, it was not a funny something. In fact, honestly, I was like, nah. I was so ill. In fact, today I was supposed to go to the radio station, but I couldn't go because I just had to be very careful with my energy. And I knew that if I wanted to do tonight's show, I had to be very, very careful with my energy. So my very amazing boss is actually helping me to sort out the show. So all the people who tune into the Happy Place with Abby, you guys, you really need to send love to John Ryan because he's British, he's white, but he does that show so good. So you have to send him love because he's the one who's been helping me all the time. I've been struggling with my health. I know you guys know that I've got fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, and all the whatever, and it comes with a lot of pain. I'm in a lot of pain as I'm speaking to you, but I'm pushing through the pain. I've taken a lot of medication. So if you see me happy, is the medication happening? So what's happened today? Today was the first day I actually went out of my house in about 2 weeks. I actually felt a bit like a human being for the first time. The pain wasn't so bad. It's the exhaustion. It's the exhaustion that is really like the worst thing to deal with, not the pain. So that has been like, just trying to get the best out of that. But there's a bobo tea area in Bolton that has become my favorite spot. Now, if you don't know what bobo tea is, it's a kind of Japanese tea. They make it in all kinds of flavors, and then they make these little bubbles of juice that you just suck in and you burst in your mouth like that. Or you have tapioca, which is chewy. I love the tapioca, but a lot of people don't. So we went to the bobo tea. That's Pam and I, because Pam took me to the doctors, only to find out that actually my appointment is next week. But I went to Specsavers to pick up my contacts. They were somewhere here. Can't find them anymore. They were somewhere here. I wanted to show them to you. My new contacts. So went to pick those up. Then I met someone who had ghosted me. Yeah. I walked into the place and I saw the person. They had ghosted me for about 6 weeks. And I was just like, I'm not even going to give any air to this. I'm just going to mind my business, do what I need to do, and just go about my way. And they actually came and said sorry and said, I want to apologize for ghosting you. I have never been apologized to for ghosting ever. The ghosters just ghost and go. But it was nice. It was nice that, came and apologized. I didn't really go into details. I was just like, you know what? The foolishness irritated me, but I let it go. And I was saying to Pam, I said, I've grown, no, because me, when I was inside bottle bearing the name Jean, you ghost me. Then you have the nerve to come and talk to me. I know what I will do to you. I will make you feel this big. But I've grown because I was just like, oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's one of those things. I was like, Abby, is this you talking? Nah. But you know what? I like the new me. I like the new me. Ron, what do you think about the new me?
Yeah, I keep saying, Abi is a work in progress. In fact, a lot of things.
Come on, what kind of work in progress? I'm complete.
Did I interrupt you? Did I interrupt you? When you started, did I interrupt you? No, I didn't. No, allow me talk. When I first met Abi back in the day, Abi was a little bit rough in the sides, and so we tried, we chiseled out the rough edges, and we made sure that Abi is becoming exactly who she's supposed to be. So we thank God for that.
Oh my days. Well, we got Tobes here now. PK. Hey,
Okay.
PK.
What's up? What's up?
It's so good to see you. I've missed you.
I missed all of you too. What are we talking about today?
Oh, we are talking about. I haven't gotten into that. I was actually talking about before we go into what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, we've already got well done. Abi, great show. Thank you so much. Guys, every hour, please come in and give us your opinion because, Prof, your opinion is usually very, very good. So please join the link and come to us. Okay, so what I was talking about before we go into the topic was that someone who ghosted me about 6 weeks ago. I saw the person. I actually was going to mind my business and not say anything, but the person actually came up and apologized for ghosting, and I was nice. I was so nice. I shocked myself. I was like, oh, it's okay. It's one of those things. Hey, me. So I was telling Ron that I've grown, no, that I've changed. I'm a new person. I'm bossed again. And he's saying that I'm rough around the edges. What
No, it might
nonsense.
I
just be
said
that
you were. I didn't say you are.
I don't know how they interpret it in Yoruba, but you know when they say they met your head at home.
To be honest, I was a bit sedated.
They met your head
I
at
had taken
home.
medication. I was slow.
They met your head at home, or they met the nice personality. You know, depends
They,
on.
they met the
Yeah,
nice Abby at home.
yeah. One more,
Yeah, he
one
met,
more drink,
yeah.
one more drink, and then they would have met Abi Nasty.
But I'm
Oh,
not nasty. I'm
Abby,
factual. I'm not
Abby can
nasty.
go back to the past. She's moving forward.
Have
The
you
first,
have you have you have you heard the term any more?
I am not nasty. I'm not. I'm factual. I'm
Have you
straightforward. I'm factual. I'm not nasty.
have you heard the term any more ko any ko more? Let me interpret it.
Don't
Let me
spoil
interpret.
my name now. Why
Let,
you
let
trying to
me
spoil my
interpret it.
reputation? I don't
No,
like it though.
he who
Abby
crosses her
Fash,
does
we
not
want you
know her.
on.
He who knows her does not cross her.
Nah, I've changed. I'm not a good. I'm really sweet now, I
No,
think.
now you
Because
may talk.
when I think about no, but seriously, Ron, when I think over the last maybe 4 months and the shenanigans that people have gotten up to,
Mhm.
dang, and I have just let it go and I have not dragged them for filth,
Yeah, but
I have
that's
grown. I have
yeah.
grown. Because you know me, I know how to cut a person down to size.
Mhm,
Actually,
mhm.
But
no. You actually enjoy cutting people.
PK, why would you say that?
Oh, because I know you a little.
See this
I'm
one
not.
smiling my name. Oh,
I'm not.
it have do. Thank you.
I'm
It
not
have
even the
do.
one talking.
You
I'm
know, she
not
just
even the one
yeah.
talking.
She's looking for the person who will look for her trouble so that she can now settle down and just begin
See?
No,
to.
I say it have do. So moving on to the topic that we are talking about
All right,
tonight.
yes,
Yes,
let's go to the topic.
this
What's the
one is going
topic?
to spoil my reputation, kwa.
What is the
Sure.
topic? Let us talk about the
So
topic.
You
talking
asked
about the
me.
Imagine. Say he just destroying my reputation of her. Me,
No,
sweet,
no.
angelic, Abby that
Yeah,
cannot say boot to a goose. I
yeah. No,
cannot
that's
kill a fly. I
no,
don't know how to do anything. I can't talk.
no, but
And
that's
just want to spoil my name.
that is Abi Nice. I'm talking of Abi Nasty.
There is no Abby Nasty.
I
There is
even
no
like the
Abby Nasty.
I even like the coinage. I've been nasty.
It's Abi
Sounds
Nasty.
nice.
Imagine.
There's Abi Nice and there's Abi Nasty.
I like
Hey,
the
I have suffered. I have suffered in the hands of PK. Don't worry. So
Uh,
this is me and you after. It's me and
is
you after.
any more ko any ko more?
They are
the
saying
message.
that they don't understand Yoruba. Habifa said we don't understand Yoruba.
Okay, Happy Fash.
Okay, so
It means that the one who crosses her does not know her, and the one who knows her does not cross her.
hey, God
Hmm.
Almighty, deliver me.
Hmm.
Deliver me from the people who are giving me bad name.
Hmm.
Name that is not my own.
Happy Fash, I hope you understand. You see, she had to go and check his
Habifa, she
location
don't
again.
understand anything. No, he is. Hey, she said meaning. You see, she said meaning. That's what she said. Meaning.
Eh,
You
Hey,
see,
Abi
she knows
Fast,
now. She knows I'm a sweet person. I just
make
trying to spoil my personality.
make she go
Uh-uh.
cross you now. Make she cross you. She go know
No,
which
no,
one.
no. I mean, I'm sweet. I'm gentle. I don't get into trouble
What
with
is the
anybody.
topic
I
of
mind my
today?
business.
Oh, prenuptial,
You see your mouth. You see your mouth.
Abby, you're
prenuptial,
not following the topic.
Prenatal.
prenup,
Prenatal.
Abby, you're not following the topic.
prenuptial agreement.
Okay, well, let me tell you what the topic is. Oga, I'm doing all the different things they're telling me to do, so I can only do them one at a time. So just calm down with me. Calm down for Jesus.
Yes, madam.
Your
So
studio, your
the
studio
topic
is
that we're
better.
talking about today is prenuptial agreements, if they're
Prenuptial.
necessary, relevant, or the kiss of death to a relationship. I
Hmm.
know that when I was engaged for the third time, I and my fiance, because that was the one that I really wanted to get married to. That's the one that I was like, yes, this is the relationship that's going to work.
You didn't want to marry the
We,
first two.
huh?
You did not want to marry the first two.
I wanted to marry the first one desperately, but he met someone else when he went away on something, and they got into a bit of coitus. And since we hadn't had coitus, he felt it was best to continue along the coitus line with that one.
Oh, okay, all right.
The second one was, well, everybody wanted me to get married. They thought it was time for me to be married. I didn't care either way. He seemed like a nice guy. I liked him. We fought a lot, but I liked him. But he was a serious mama's boy, and mama and siblings were in our business like no tomorrow. And it was just becoming like, so, just had to let it go. Then the third one was when I came to this country, and I actually fell in love with. I fell in love with him. I was in love with him. I fell in love with him. He meant the whole world. The link, Happy Fash is asking for the link. The link is on my page. So when you go, you see the link there. It will say join the link, and then is a StreamYard link. It's all over the page. So just look for it to be able to see it. So him, I was in love with, and in fact, in a way, I still love him. I love him. I'm not in love with him anymore. I was in love with him, and I loved him. But I still love him. I mean, I would never wish ill on him. I still think he was the best man ever. He was loving. He was kind. But it just didn't. We had all kinds of things, racial issues, all kinds of stuff. So because it was white and black and that kind of thing, so it didn't work out. But when we were actually like, okay, we are getting married, when we had made that decision, we were getting married, we actually talked about a prenuptial agreement. And as of that time, I'm going to add Cynthia to us. Cynthia, you're welcome. I'm going to add you to the stream. Okay, it's saying that to oh, just give me a moment. It's coming up with something that doesn't make any sense to me.
I think
Add.
they can. I think they can wait till you finish your
Yeah, I'm
monologue.
just trying to even add. Aha. So I've added Cynthia. So Habi, I hope you've seen the link. So anyways, we actually talked about prenuptial agreement. At that time I was actually making more money than him, and I had a few things, but the agreement we're making wasn't about, who is making more money or that kind of thing. It was about how do we run our home together. What do we do? Are we setting up an account together? Are we having separate accounts? What do we do if somebody falls ill? Because at that time I was ill, but we also said, what if you fell ill? What do we do? And all that stuff. So that was the agreement that we were making. And we were actually we had written out the agreement together, sat down and talked about it. And we were going to go to our counselor to look through the agreement to see if there was any part that we were leaving out, or maybe there was a part we were being unrealistic about, and then we were going to take it to a lawyer to get it notarized. But of course, we didn't get to that point. But that's one of the things we were doing. So yeah, that's my experience with prenuptial agreements. So anybody else wants to share theirs? Yes, Ron.
Okay. This is the way I see it.
Hey, Abby. I'm adding you on.
Okay, this is the way I see it. I feel. Hey, Ivy.
Hello.
Hey, Cynthia. Okay,
So,
so
I,
Ron, share.
yeah,
We're talking
I feel,
about prenuptial agreements and if they're necessary, relevant, or the kiss of death to a relationship.
okay. Now, this is how I feel. I feel if one is going into a marriage, again, the problem is people don't take these vows seriously. For some people, weddings and marriages is like an opportunity to show off what you've got, or as the case may be, man or woman. And I believe that if you're getting into marriage, you should understand that it's sickness and health to till death do you part. Till death
Mm.
do you part. That's the contract. So, like Kayode always say, it's a contract. It's a life contract. So when you now it depends on the environment you are. If you're in an environment where divorce is a culture, where it's rampant, like it's normal, like it's been normalized, and people have been desensitized to the point whereby whenever there's an argument or misunderstanding, the next thing that comes up is divorce. In that situation, it might make sense for either the man or woman, depending who is bringing in the money. But personally, I don't feel that that's the way. It's not supposed to be so. You're supposed to go there with your whole heart in the hope that you die together, or one you die, death will separate you. Not after a while you just say, I'm no more feeling the love, or it's time to move on. Then you start sharing properties. And again, this is how I think about the whole process. If the man had the money or the woman had the money before the marriage, it had been established from ground up before the marriage, and the person, I don't see why you should be sharing properties equally with somebody who just came from nowhere, and came to, in Igbo we call them, or in Igbo language they're called Obiage leaders. You came to chop, like you didn't do anything, you didn't contribute. When I say contribute, now contributions vary. We have women who come into a family, maybe the guy is not sharp. The woman comes in with different business ideas, they are making money. She's entrepreneurial, enterprising. She's bringing these deals. She's pointing the husband to where he should go, who to talk to. In that situation, you don't even need anybody to tell you when you decide to say that this woman is like a backbone of this whole thing you call wealth that you're bragging about. So, but where I draw the line is if somebody just came from nowhere, spends 2 years with you or 3 years, then doesn't know where the money came from. All of a sudden, she wakes up and say, "I want a divorce." What happens? It flicked my fingers. So for that reason, we are not marrying again. Then you start
No,
going to court to fight for half of what you didn't even work for. That to me, it's not fair. You understand?
Okay. Well, let me call another lady in. PK, I'll call on you soon. Cynthia, because you came on, what's your thoughts about this? Prenuptial agreements, are they necessary, relevant, or the kiss of death to a relationship? Or do you want to respond to something that Ron had said?
I'll say something later. Let me keep hearing you guys.
Oh, okay. Habi, do you have anything to say to this?
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting. Go on.
Okay, let me chip in some little advice.
Oh, okay,
Sometimes
okay, Cynthia, go on, yeah?
you really go into the marriage just the way Ekene explained everything, he's just saying it the way it ought to be. But sometimes when you get into marriage, you don't meet marriage the way you planned it to be. They're just some kind of men that are very difficult. You cannot just manage them. By the time you're not doing things together, you're doing A, he's doing B. So you cannot just you can't just be compatible. It can't just be successful no matter how you try. So for such kind of marriages, divorce is just the answer, because you see people advising the lady, people are advising the husband, nobody is agreeing, then there's nothing you can do. But the truth about it, nobody gets into marriage to divorce, or nobody gets into marriage to separate. Everybody wants a healthy marriage, but it's not how you plan things that things come up at times. So, and of course, it's a sad story for those who are divorcees, because really that's not anybody's plan. It just happened or happens. So that's what I have to say.
Okay. PK, would you like to share your thoughts?
Yeah. So with the way I see prenup, right, it actually might be one of the best things that needs to happen to marriage, because the reality is that even though we like for it to be till death do us part, it's actually a contract, and it's an enforceable contract anywhere in the world, right? And basically, this is the only contract where there is no written details of the contract until the time when the separation needs to occur. And then that's when it's like, I thought, and then the other person is saying, I thought. Then you now realize that two of them entered a life contract thinking totally different things. No one really realizing that what I thought is not what the other person thought. I thought I owned half the property. The other person always thought that my property is mine. I thought that we will not have any kids. The other person is thinking, I thought we're going to have 5 kids. I thought we will have coitus every day. The other person is okay with coitus once in 6 months, right? So basically, everybody now gets into a scenario where they now start feeling defrauded down the line in this permanent contract. And if you think about it, the reason is because there was never any conversation around the fact that we're about to sign a contract. What are the expectations? What do I need for you to deliver so that I can continuously be in this contract and be happy? For employment, we actually know exactly what the terms of the offer are.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, there is actually every other contract has details and expectations that need to be met for the contract to continue to exist. Why is it that it's a problem when it comes to this life contract? This is the same contract that they'll say, do not test drive, do not try anything, just sign the contract for the rest of your life, take it home, whatever you meet there, manage it for the rest of your life. It still, if you think about it, I understand, if you think about it, if you really sit down and be logical about it, it does not make sense. It is more likely to fail because of the way it was set up. Now, if we're saying it's cultural, then let's not treat it like a contract, but we do all the time treat it like a contract. Till death do us part. If that's the only term of the contract, guess what happens when people feel that there is no way out except death? Guess what happens? People start looking towards making the exit happen, either accidentally to the other party, or sometimes to their own selves. Part of the reason why somebody will be in a scenario where everybody's telling the person, you are about to die in this thing, and they keep going because they'll just rather check out that way. Because in their mind, that's the only way out. On the reverse side, when it's good, we don't need to talk about the terms, right? But if you think about it, the one that makes sense the most is you need to have a conversation about all these things. I have met somebody whose husband died, and they came and threw her out of the house and took everything. Now she's on the streets, starting all over again. Don't you wish there was a contract that she could be upheld with her 2 kids, right? She's fending for her 2 kids with not much education. There should have been a contract, in my opinion, right? So that's I think having whatever you call that contract, we always think about it in terms of wealth, but having a contract that details the expectations before you both sign it is really, really important, so that everybody knows when they are not meeting the terms, so that they understand that there's an exit clause.
Okay, Happy, would you like to share your thoughts, please?
I think PK just brought everything that I need to say. because I was just nodding my head, like nodding, and like I agree with everything that you said. And on top of that, aside from this contract, in my opinion, shouldn't just be life. I think because it's life, people become lackadaisical. You see husband and wife that have been married for 10 years, they'll be inside the car. Well, if as soon as you are looking at them in the car, you know that these people are married people because their face will be the husband's face will be like, and the wife face will be like, and they'll be like, they and I know that it's very wrong to generalize. Don't get me wrong, and this is not like a general norm with everything. But the whole point is that someone is choking. There is without that prenup, it means that there is someone is at the how will I put it, at the receiving end of something bad, while the other person is probably gallivanting. But if you put everything, I was even proposing, and I said, aside from that, we have to kind of be reviewing this contract every 3 years. Have a look. You don't like it, check out. You don't like what you're getting, go. It's called freedom. As an individual, I have to understand freedom. As a man has to understand freedom. When we all have that freedom, somebody said to me, they said, because I got married to a white person, the person married a white person and said, oh, do you know white people? They don't usually look out. They don't like, I'm looking for the right English now, but in Yoruba, the person is saying that they don't, they are not witch hunting their husband, kind of, unlike the black women. And I'm like, the whole point of this is that we don't understand freedom. We're told to wake up. They train you all your life to wake up and be waiting for one Prince Charming who is going to woo you, and then you're going to be there all your life. We're never trained. We're never told. Some people got it right, and in their head they are thinking, "I got it right." I am sorry to say, if you get it right in our days, in our time, you get it right by mere chance. A little bit of knowledge that some people do have, and I'm trying to say that very loosely because I know some people are very knowledgeable and they know all the terms, contracts, and all that. But the thing is, some people just went there by sheer luck, and they are living in that luck. I'm rooting for them. But in the real sense of it, we all need to be schooled about this lifetime contract. I don't want to have a lifetime contract with anyone. I want to have like the contract that can be reviewed, just like you go to job, you're fumbling, they're like, you know what, you're underperforming. And on that, you will see everybody sitting up. You will see a man that knows that the wife could go, will be like, okay, you know what, I need to sit up now. You know what, I need to. It just helps everyone. And like he said, like Eke said, I can just keep going on his topic because on his points, because there are some things I mentioned. I was thinking, is this man? Because usually people who get the benefits of privileges, they usually don't talk. They usually don't say the truth. Sorry. So I'm privileged to be here tonight, and I'm happy hearing that from a man actually, because most men will not agree to this, and I don't mean that in any offense. They won't agree to this, but in the real sense of it, it works for everyone because we can't say it's just men because some women too. OMG. So if we have this, if people start putting this, and it's not. And I saw a comment that said it's an Oyinbo thing. Yes, we are copying almost everything Oyinbo are doing. That's why you see us go and do wedding in the church. Go and do introduction and say your wedding is blessed. No, we still go and spend thousands, millions. So if we are going to copy them, let us copy them right. And if you're not going to copy them, let's just go and do Yakunle Yarisi. Let's do introduction. Everybody go to their husband's house. So we can't be doing, I don't know English too much. Or Shaka or Shoko.
Picking and choosing.
Yeah, we can't be doing that. Just
okay, well, okay, I actually want to add to this because, as I said, I actually started a prenuptial agreement path with my ex. And the thing is, we weren't really talking about money because even though I was the one earning more, it wasn't an issue because I was really, really ill, and he was the one who was my main carer. He was taking care of me. And for us, it was about how do we want to live our lives. So we were talking about how do we set up our accounts? How do we, and of course that was going to be up for review, because of course he wasn't going to keep doing the same job, I wasn't going to keep doing the same job. We looked at our health. What if he fell ill and I got better, or I got, because again we didn't even know whether I was going to get better or I was going to get worse as of that time, so we had no idea what we were dealing with. So we had that going on. Then we also were talking about children. How did we want, how many children were we looking at? What if we didn't have children? Do we adopt? Things like that. So those were the things that we were looking at. It wasn't really about, oh, how much money, who gets what, this and that. And of course the agreement was there was nothing that we were going to do outside of the other. So if he was doing something, I was going to be supporting him. If I was doing something, he was going to be supporting me. So if ever, and we weren't even looking at, or if we split up, because we were, as of that time, really believing in the till death do us part kind of thing. And for us, it was a case of, you know what, whatever happens, we want each other to be taken care of. We want to make sure that we still maintain a kind of respect and love for each other, even if anything happened. We want to make sure that nobody feels like they're at the worst end of things. So that was what was happening for us. Now, going back to what Ron was saying, there's something I want to address. He said, oh, well, you don't believe that if a woman comes into a relationship and then 2-3 years she says, oh, I'm no longer interested. But I want to ask a question. What if the woman comes into the relationship and 2-3 years she's now in the marriage that she thinks this is for life, I'm not going anywhere, this is the marriage I'm going to sit in, and then 2-3 years down the line the guy goes, don't like this, I'm not interested anymore, I'm filing for a divorce. Don't you then think that because of her expectations, especially if they don't have a prenuptial agreement, she's not prepared to be like, this is where I'm staying for the rest of my life. And is the guy who's changed things up? I hope Habi and okay, yes. So yeah.
Yeah.
So Ron, what's your response to that?
Okay, when I was talking about that, I wasn't saying it in a prenuptial context. I was just saying what happens generally. If a woman comes in
Okay.
and is willing to stay in a marriage, or a man is willing to stay, and is the other partner priming the person to leave, you have to pay the price. It's as simple as that. I don't.
Well,
It's
that's
just like
different from what
you
you
say.
said earlier.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. What I said earlier was if the woman came in, spent 3 years, and she decided for whatever reason that she wants to leave.
Okay.
That's the first
So if
scenario.
the guy
In
is
this,
beating her,
no, no, no.
that's
We're
not
not
what she
putting
planned for.
we're not putting any parameters. I'm just stating certain things. It's a given that you shouldn't beat a woman in the marriage. That one is given. You don't need me to even repeat it. You
Okay.
shouldn't beat anybody. So, what I'm saying, when she comes in with the gold digging mentality, that's
Hey.
where I'm having a problem with. I'm
Ah,
coming gold digging mentality in the sense that
this is
nothing
my
happened.
talking
To
point.
that.
Go.
I'm
Sorry,
coming.
sorry, sorry. I want you to finish, but this gold digging point, I'm
Mm.
holding on to that. Go on.
Yeah, it can come from two ways, though. It's not a one-sided thing. It's not a woman-only thing. It can come from the guy. Because I've seen guys do it before. So, what I'm just trying to say, anyone, either male or female, you come in with a gold-digging mentality, you should just go back to where you came from. It's that simple. But if it's the guy who is or the lady who is pushing the other person out, then the person should pay the price. It's simple.
Before Habib goes in, you know that this thing of, I saw a joke and I was like, it's a joke, but it's actually quite true. The lady was like, oh, you came and looked at me, fine girl. You came and proposed to me that you like me. Then I said, Mr. Man, these are my expectations. You now said I'm a gold digger. You too, you're a gold digger because you saw the gold that I am and you wanted to dig me. So me too, I decided I was going to dig you. So who is
but,
digging who here?
but that's not the
Just a
scenario I just
question.
painted now. But that's not the scenario I just painted now. I'm talking when she initiates the
Said
breakup.
you're holding on to one thing and then
Yeah, now when she initiates the breakup, not when the guy is pushing her out. They are two separate scenarios.
I don't know.
If she
I'm
decides,
saying that either way, it's a case of this whole gold digging thing. The guy saw something that he went to dig and brought her home. And she too came to dig something that she came to the house. So both of them are diggers. If we think about it technically.
yeah, apart from emotional consequences, there are always financial implications in these things. So if we take these things with levity, the way you're approaching it, it's quite somehow, because remember, if the person is living like that, and why it becomes, for instance, there are people who are very, very smart, very, very extremely smart, that they can plan their lives around somebody without the person even knowing. And they don't have plans, so they don't like you, they don't want to be with you, they just want to come there, make the money, and go. We see that a lot in Hollywood. It's normal for them. It's become a career for some people. Okay,
Okay,
they can
but
marry.
before Habi goes on, let me quickly read out something that Michael Babaranti Savage said. He said, "I honestly think that a lot of people who deliberately get married must have had a prenuptial discussion consciously or unconsciously." So that's what he said. So I've just put that up. So Habi, would you like to share your thoughts on what Ron has
Yeah.
said, please?
First, I'm going to comment on that, say something about that comment. The whole point of that prenuptial is that we talk about it. So either, there's a way you can talk. If I get a job today and all they told me that job is that, oh, your contract 6 months, da 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 da, and they've been verbal about it without stating the obvious, without signing a contract, without something that we both agreed on the terms and contract in blue or black and white, right? Then we can go back on our words. So even if we have done that either consciously or unconsciously, which I agree, it would be good for it to be very detailed. And then to put the obvious things, like anything could happen. It could be death, it could be divorce, it could be something. Because as Nigerians, and sorry, maybe some people who are listening that are not Nigerians, but as Africans generally, we really don't like to talk about in the case of something happened and we'll
Yeah.
be saying God forbid. Well, maybe God forbid, but bad and good are parts of life. If there's no good, there probably might not be bad. Maybe something happened along the line that we know that this is good, and something happened along the line we know that this is bad. So both things work together. So it's all about planning and making like a conscious decision when doing things. Many of us are like very, oh, I finished school, you have finished school, now it's time for you to now get married. Okay, what common sense do you have? You don't have common sense. What have you planned for yourself? I've got no plans. But because I've got some family members that think that, okay, I'm now ripe enough, like a potato or whatever is being ripe, plantain or whatever, and then it's time for me to get married. And because I am very unconscious or maybe unaware, then I go in there and I wear the wedding gown, and everybody say, "Oh, yeah, 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 you may kiss the bride, blah, blah, blah," the end. And I come back again, I'm like, "Oh, something happened." And the society that was pushing me when I was sleeping, well, and they will be like, "Oh, it's all your fault. It's all your fault. Why did you marry this person?" Hello, I wasn't even awake when you guys were pushing me. And so that is the society that we have. And so coming away from the dogma, coming away from the usual way people do things, if we say that we are learned, we have to start acting learned. Is that
Mm.
we need to discuss those things in black and white. And now going back to my favorite topic, which is the gold digging thing. I am a gold digger. May I never may I know this is going on YouTube or wherever. I am a sorry, I don't want to swear. I am
Bona
a
fide.
gold digger, right? And may I never, including me and my generation, will we never dig coins. We will be digging gold. Now,
God.
I will explain that. See, It's all about this awareness. Okay? If I don't want to remain a pauper, and I don't want the other person to remain a pauper. So it's on you. If you have money and you're looking at the gold digger like myself and you can't ask me questions, you don't want to know me to know my intention. Do you understand? So it's all about I'm fighting for my corner. You fight for your corner. Why did you come to me? Because probably, let me guess, oh, I love tall girls. And this is the literal thing that people say. Oh, so you're getting, how will I put it, driven away by something else. That's the gold that you are digging. Whereas me, I'm
Mm-hmm.
digging your money. And then you're complaining. It's all about what you're looking for. I'm looking for gold. You are looking for beauty. You can choose beauty while I choose gold. Now, if both of us are both gold diggers, you'll be thinking that, okay, this Abby that wants to dig my gold, what does she have? Is it
Mm.
just all about
What you
her
bring it
digging
to the
gold?
table?
What can I get from her that is not just about money? What can I get from her? Maybe it's her intellect. Maybe she likes to do, maybe she's a jack of all trades. You know what? Let me tap into this. At the end of the day, whatever you tap into, that's your gold. So now, God help you if all you are looking at is my glasses that is bending one side or the other, or what you are looking at, oh, she's so fair. That's you. It's on you. And so it boils down to the fact that we all need to be aware and, think about what we want. Now, unfortunately, I've done few researches about families, parents, and things like that. What comes to us is that we all repeat the same thing. And God
Mm.
help Abby tomorrow now. She wants to do our wedding. If we've not discussed this thing kind of thing, and she'll be like, I want to do prenup, but I'm thinking, what would these people be I know she's not like that. So, but let me just pretend that there's another Abby somewhere. Maybe it's me. And I'm thinking, what will people say? They say I'm a gold digger. That's why I came out to say this is a live broadcast. I hope that somebody will pick this up and say that I am a oh, I don't want to swear. I am a gold digger. I will never dig
Gold
nothing.
diggers unite.
Do you know what I mean? I will never dig nothing less. So if you are somebody that doesn't have that gold, flee. Because my gold doesn't, is not, you remember when you said, you didn't say money digger, you said gold. So I might be, how
Mhm.
does the gold look like? It's raw,
Yeah,
it's undefined. So I
yeah,
am
but
tapping into your resources. I am tapping into what will make me be better. So if you want to tap into that, then you can think that, oh, maybe Abby is not for me. Oh. I think this girl, she's so money conscious. Then you can go and look for another gold person that looks like you. But stop. What we look at when we are choosing sometimes is very literal. So the people that are smart
Yeah.
will be blaming them. And they too, they will not be like, okay, so that they won't say I'm a gold digger. I am a gold
Ah,
digger. Thank
let
you.
okay,
them
sorry.
say it.
Let's
Okay,
clarify something.
run first before you respond. I can see PK chuckling away. Swam, thank you so much for joining us. I'll come to you. But PK is chuckling away with glee. So I would like to hear what's running through your head right now.
Well, so basically, I guess I think Harvey has actually expatiated on it, but you do realize that there are some arrangements, what we call trophy wife. What is a trophy wife? It's just the fact that there's an agreement that you will always look very pretty, and
Mhm,
I will pay for you to look pretty.
Everything.
Right? That's the
mhm,
agreement, and both people
mhm,
understand that that's the agreement. So,
mhm,
and they do very well together as long as everybody is keeping to their side of the contract, which means that if you're supposed to be paying for me to look pretty and you can no longer pay for me to look pretty, then there's an exit clause that will be triggered, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if you're supposed to be looking pretty and then you now get in and you just load up on stuff and you basically start losing the initial attraction, then also there is an exit clause. So this thing is a contract. You can, and the market is big. What I mean by that is you can always find somebody who meets the criteria you're looking for. There's the guy who
Mm-hmm.
has plenty of money but cannot find love and is ready to pay for it. So, and then there's the other person who's ready to give love but doesn't have the money.
mhm,
In actual fact, this whole partnership that we're doing, you do realize that it's about
It's the
somebody leaving
contract.
something to the other person, right? Whatever that thing is. including the very common one, the coitus, is the reason why somebody actually goes out. He or she is not getting what they thought they were going to get, and so they go out to look for it. So people need different things. If you did not need anything, there is no point actually entering a partnership.
Exactly.
Why are you partnering with someone when you don't need anything that they have to offer? And people have different things to offer. There's no point. You don't do it. Even for loneliness sake is the reason why some people basically sign a contract. I don't want to feel lonely. It's the reason why people enter a contract. But if you think you will never feel lonely, you will never need, all these other things, why are you signing a contract?
That's why some people have escort services, why they patronize them, because they don't want to be lonely.
There are all sorts of reasons why you have that whole industry, right, where people are providing some of these services that a lot of so they are providing those services as a business. On the flip side, you have people who they're going to marry.
Wait, let him finish.
I was just going to say, prostitutes. Do you know that they pay tax in this country, right?
Well, in some countries, actually, it's legal, right? Because it's a service that they're offering. And that service, even though people say they are frowning on it, if there was no business, it would have died down long ago. But it goes all the way back to even the Bible days, which is where we think everything started from. But it goes all the way back. If there was no business, it would have died long ago. But it is a thriving business everywhere in the world, including the most religious parts of the world. Right? So it tells you that people have needs, and anybody who can meet those needs actually creates value. And when you create value, people will pay for it. Some will say, oh, they don't want to do, basically it's not, prostitution, if you call it that, right? But then there are many other things. Loneliness. People will pay so that they won't be lonely. Right? We enter contracts all the time. I'm just saying that if you do this with every other contract where you detail out what the expectation is and there an exit clause, why don't we bring it into this whole thing we call marriage and call it whatever
it actually
you want to call it?
Makes a lot of sense to do that.
List it out, right? List it out so that everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to bring to the table, instead of assuming that you ought to bring this and find out in the middle of the contract, that's not what I thought, but that's what this other person thought, right? And then you have all these things. Is the reason why you now start going to counseling, which basically is they are going to some sort of judge, right? Some sort of court where somebody will judge who is right, who is wrong, who needs to adjust. The contract was not properly spelled out, So
it's not always that the counseling succeeds. It's not always.
You enter because at that point in time you find out that you entered a contract that you both can't uphold.
Then you have this albatross of till death do us part put on your neck.
And then you find out that you can't get out of it. And then people start doing all sorts because people realize, you find out that I can't do this for the rest of my life. That's usually what people find out later on. When you see people trying to exit this contract, is because they come to a realization that I cannot do this for the rest of my life. That happened a lot during this whole COVID lockdown, where you now find that you are locked with the person you signed a life contract with, and you start realizing that, oh my goodness, I can't endure this for the rest of my life. People get to that point, and when they get to that point, they start looking to basically to trigger the exit clause. I want out of this. I can't do this for the rest of my life. That's what people get to. So anyhow, we now try and paint it or term it, whether we try and say, oh, we want to force you to stay inside because, oh, you will go to hell. Some people are like, give me the hell. This one is hell. So just, since I'm going to hell, let me at least enjoy the rest. I mean, people basically, if you really think about it, come to the fact that I can't do this for the rest of my life, and they want out of it. So if you could talk about it before and list it out before, then at least it would be like, this is what we agreed we will both do. You can always go back to that when somebody is not meeting up and say, you said we will do this, and we wrote it and basically said we'll both do it. Then at least somebody now needs to adjust, rather than we need to go to counseling so that somebody can tell us how it ought to be, basically, which is like the person's subjective definition of how it ought to be. Because again, I've seen how you can even use religion to back any point you are trying to drive somebody to. Any
and
you
the
can,
kind of medicine after death kind of
yes,
situation,
you
isn't
can
it?
flip it. You can use it. There are enough quotes you can use to basically prove your point, right? And
But
somebody ends up
that
unhappy
that
most of the
is
time, right? So basically,
Okay, so you've been listening to us. We've been talking about prenuptial agreements, if they're necessary, relevant, or the kiss of death to a relationship. And you've been hearing people talk. What are your thoughts on this, please? Welcome to the show. Hello?
Mute. You unmute yourself.
You're on mute. Unmute yourself, please.
Okay. Talk again.
oh
You're
no.
still muted.
I can't hear you. Unmute. Okay, talk again.
Nope. Let me check. It's not anything I've done on this end. No, I've not done anything. So you need to look at your mic where you are.
I think it's his
Okay,
phone.
so work with your mic and see what's going on. Ron, I saw that you wanted to
Yeah. Let me
respond,
quickly.
so you respond. So keep looking at your mic, please.
Okay, Habi. I need to clear something quickly so that we don't move in that direction. I've listened to all you said about gold digging and all that. You don't qualify as a gold digger. You qualify as a potential wife. Full stop. All you said does not qualify you as a gold digger because you are coming in with expectations from the other person, and you two have what you are bringing in. So you're not really a gold digger. A gold digger is someone who just does not has no plans whatsoever for the other person, just her own need. You understand? You said you were coming in with your own idea, your own backup to the marriage and all that, which is nice. It's acceptable. All you said is very, very acceptable. Where we draw the line is when somebody just wakes up, I see a star, somebody has money. The star wants genuine love. You know he wants genuine love. He discusses it with you, but your mind is not there. All you're thinking is about is how to stay with him for 3 years, then rip him off all he has, half of all he owns. Now that is a gold digger. But in your own case, you have a plan to come in and establish and do something for yourself and for the other person. That is good. That is what's expected of wives. A wife is not meant to just go and sit down and be watching television. She's supposed to come there. Just like everything you said is correct. Everything you said about is what a wife should do. So it's not a bad thing. Stop making it look like you've done something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. You did the right thing. Am I making myself clear? There are two different scenarios. They are not the same.
Not really, but continue, sir.
Do you understand? All you've listed out as your contribution is perfect. There's nothing wrong with what you do. It's okay. Let your generations continue doing it. It's fine. You understand? But don't go in with deception to ruin somebody's life. That's the difference. Intent, motivation, intent, the intention, and the what's the word? Motive. Yeah, is what separates you from the gold digger. You're not a gold digger.
No, but would a gold digger go in? As long as the money keeps rolling in, the gold digger is going to provide everything that is needed.
You're still correct, but you need to still understand. People, human beings like me and you, have the skill to spot somebody, make up their minds before they even speak with the person. I'm going to spend 6 months, 1 year, 3 years with this person and collect half of the stuff. The same thing with guys. There are guys who do that too, not just women. There are guys who plan like that. They have no intention to be with you longer than their set time frame. As soon as that time frame expires, they start all sorts of trouble just to break loose and claim their price.
Which is why, in that particular situation, a prenup would be perfect. Because then.
That's good. I'm just trying to let her know that she's not a bad person. You're a good person.
No, Abby is not a bad person.
No.
She's not saying she's a bad person.
You're not a gold digger anyway.
Ah,
You're not. You don't
Abby, can
qualify.
I talk? Abby, can I talk?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All I'm saying is this. See, there are some blanket statements that we always make as Nigerians, which we can't we say it. Now, the people that started that particular word, they say it because they wanted to bring some women down to say that, oh, this one, the way I'm looking at this one is going to be a gold digger, meaning that somebody that just came to that relationship because of money, right? So now, if you introduce me, for instance, to your father, and your father is Mike Adenuga or someone bigger than that, maybe Dangote, because that's one of my favorites anyway, maybe Dangote. And now you look at me, stop laughing, no. And now you look at me and you said, oh, Abby is a gold digger. Call me anything. Do you understand what I mean? Because he has his own intention. He wants to dig something from me, and I want to dig money. Do
Mm-hmm.
you understand what I mean? So maybe
But
it's
you,
1 year old, maybe it's 2 years old, maybe don't forget the fact that I'm watching TV. You used another illustration. You said maybe that person will just sit down not doing anything. I might decide not to do anything. That's the
There's
terms
money
of
to
the
spend now. Why am I doing anything?
give me money if that's all I wanted. So for me, because I am a professional gold digger, I will not go and dig Dangote now and go and be watching TV, because I
Ah,
know that all I needed is more than TV. I've watched TV all my life.
you guys are
So,
listening to stupid show.
oh,
ah.
I'm serious. I'm serious
Look,
now.
me, I've already said it. I'm not interested in marriage. But you see what can tempt me into marriage, You have to be a rich man, no.
So I'm saying,
I
see,
can't
I'm
go with
just
a
being
poor man. At this
realistic.
stage, after all this suffer and suffered in life,
All we
I'm
are
not
saying
follow
is
poor
that
man. Yeah,
we are being realistic to know that what is. So now look at it from this perspective. If somebody sees me now, somebody like Dangote, and look, this girl, oh, I like this girl, oh, I want to marry her. Look at it from this angle, and I am also looking at him to say, this man, oh, I can dig some cash. Now both of us have intention.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will definitely be smarter than the other. Maybe higher thief, lower thief is a thief,
Yeah,
right?
but you fall under Kayode's category of trophy wife. That's all they are now.
Whatever the trophy, let's not see, all those things are just mere titles. All we are
whether
saying is
it's
that
trophy
we
or
Wives are
whether
not
have,
it's a championship wife,
no,
it doesn't
no,
matter.
trophy wives are not gold diggers. There is an intent to spoil her from beginning before the
who
relationship
have the intent. Wait, who have the intent to spoil her? The man.
has
The woman
decided that
God has the woman God has the intent to be spoiled. It's
good,
exactly
which
the
makes you a
same
trophy
thing.
wife, which makes you a trophy wife. I go
That's
chop
what I'm
your
now
money.
saying. We now go back to the
Okay,
prenup
okay,
that
guys,
when we
wait,
do
wait.
all this,
So have you
when we
been
do
able
all
to fix your mic?
this,
Have you been able to
So
fix your
unmute
mic?
your mic, ma'am.
Unmute
So
your mic, Suwan.
okay, try again.
so if we've been able to, is it talking now? Okay, so if we've
Hey,
been able
God,
to
get
do
off
all
here.
that,
Exit the studio and come back in. Exit the studio. Exit. Then come back in again.
so if
Okay.
we've been able to do the me my favorite guy, that's who I'm going to be mentioning anyway. So sorry guys, if you're looking and you're thinking, why is Abby talking about Dangote? Sorry, Abby, God help me, the person that is looking at this thing saying, Abby is looking for Dangote. Yes, that's my target. Anyway, as a friend, don't go and be doing. But let's say this man now come with a proposal. For instance, Mr. PK, I don't know why you're laughing. Let's say this man now come with a proposal. I didn't know that Abby is going to give me this thing. Mr. PK now, sorry, why am I mentioning your name? So Dangote now he now said he wants, more aside from being a friend. Oh, Abby, I want to
You.
marry, I want us to, and this prenup is already there. He will save me. It will save him. I won't take too much of his money. He knows that okay, we already have plans that okay, in case Abby decides to leave, or since her face is like gold digging, this is what she will get. And in case so if he's going, he knows that he's going to part with his money. Shikina. So nobody is losing at the end of the day. Awareness. That's what we're saying.
Abi, because we were mentioning PK, I was looking at you because hey, I don't play with that man. No,
Abi,
you
can
see
I
that
shock
man
you?
there.
I
I don't play
already
with
told
him.
you who my target is. He's
Eh-heh.
down.
Okay, wait.
So because I was going to fight you,
Wait,
because you see
please,
that man there, I don't
want
play
to
with
say
him at
something.
all, at all, at all, at all.
let me chip in something. Quickly. Let me just chip in something.
Okay.
Abi, should I shock you? Are you
Yes.
aware that most trophy wives already have prenuptial agreements, but they enjoy more than people who don't even have prenuptial agreements and they are living standard lives?
This
They
is
are,
what we are saying. We just want it to be what, like everybody should be using it, not just the trophy, the so-called trophy. Gold diggers like us, like
no,
professional
they are
gold
not
diggers.
gold diggers. They forever agreed. There's an
As
agreement.
I said, Dangote, Dangote.
Thank you. God bless you. If you know the connection, let me know. Let me know. So you are Lord, I'm begging.
I
God
want
bless
to
you.
add
I don't know if that
Okay,
person is
something
brother.
actually.
speak,
Yeah.
speak.
So, so the thing there actually is the key thing actually is the gold digger is deceptive, and that could be male or female. So the gold digger is the person who is actually going in almost like a thief, going to steal. And what I mean by that is you give the wrong impression. I'm in it for the rest of our lives, but no, you're in it for
You
something
are
else.
never going.
So
Yeah.
that deception really is the one that really owns the title gold digger, whether male or female. The
Okay.
guy goes in there, he's only looking for certain things, does not say that, basically tries to deceive everybody involved and says, no, I'm in it for the rest of my life. I really, I love you, for your mind, but, you're in it
Picky,
for
I don't love you for you. I love you for
Amen.
many, many things.
Exactly. But at least you see, when you state it clearly, you no longer fall under the gold digger thing. Almost like gold digger is a thief, right?
But
It's a need for deception. So what you are describing instead is you are saying, I have certain needs, this person can provide it, and I'm going for those certain needs. And then hopefully you don't get to Dangote, for example, and say, no, I just always love men with white beards. Right?
yeah,
You're
but
not
I have
saying
to say
something else
something
when
at
what
the end of the
you're
day.
looking for is the money. That's the difference here, where you basically say, look, this
Now,
is my need, oh, can you meet it? And then the
now,
guy's like, waiting you carry where I know fit meet. And then
okay,
everybody's happy.
PK, thank you. But there's reason why I'm saying this. Now, I know we have said that, oh, that is deception. Tell me, in terms of statistics, now I'm going to push it to you as a man. How many men have come out, or men have come out and say, I'm being genuine. This is you. You are the sugar in my tea and everything. And you can see that in your own understanding. You're like, oh, this guy is genuine. And at the end of the day, they know. And it's vice versa with
Pique did
women
it
as
to
well.
me. Pique did it to me.
Look over, I said, this guy. So,
Shebi, you did your own earlier. I'm not doing my own.
you understand? You understand? At the end of the day, they're not being genuine. All we are saying is that
When gold digger is both ways, though. It's not only
see,
women
I
that have that
I know. But all I'm saying is in generality, rather than talk that, okay, I shared something. A guy was saying that he is ready to impregnate imbeciles. That if you have any imbecile in your house, is on my page. But honestly, if you have any imbecile in your house, he was promoting himself. I shared it and I said, is this guy a gold digger? A lot of people, let me repeat it. He said his own service is to people who have children like imbeciles that cannot, and they want those children to have children. They want their child to have children and they don't know how to do it. That if they can pay him, is ready to help them, provide the service, right? He's going to provide a service. Okay, Rabbi,
First
say
of
whatever.
all, the use of the word imbecile I hate that
Sorry,
guy.
maybe it's me that do not understand the right thing. Maybe people with
No.
special.
If he used
I'm
that
not
term,
saying use it
he's
that
already
way, but maybe it's me that didn't get it, that what he was trying to say. But apologies for anyone
He
watching.
actually used the word. He actually used that word
Did
exactly
he?
as you.
he
Yes.
is the
Okay,
Disgusting.
because I can't
Disgusting.
remember vividly. So, but what he's saying is a Nigerian. He's probably African, maybe not Nigerian, maybe African. So sometimes we, for lack of better words, we say certain things. We don't mean any insults. We just don't. Just
He
our
doesn't know
lingo
that
has
it's, he
just
doesn't
run.
know that it's derogatory actually.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Very
mean.
derogatory.
Yeah, he does not
Now,
realize it's derogatory. Yeah.
yeah. So, and you can see that I use it as well, but I don't mean it that way. But I wanted to quote
No,
him,
I'm
the
not
way that
saying
he
you.
said it.
I'm saying
Oh,
him.
you
Now,
actually heard him.
well, and I wasn't really sure anyway. So now the guy now said that when a lot of people watched that video, they were like, ah, this guy is so stupid. This guy is so this. And you know what? I didn't see him as a stupid guy. I saw the guy, forget every other thing, the way that he's saying it. I saw a potential person that knows what he can provide and is promoting his services. Dear Nigerians, anybody can promote whatever. This is, he knows that there's a market for this particular thing and he's promoting it. See, this is what I am trying to say, that sometimes we look at things from the perspective of, oh, this is derogatory. So somebody called me a gold digger, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to be a gold digger. Then you become a something else, right? Because there is so it's all about why did they use that word in the first instance? Who coined that word? The people coining that word, are they what were their intention when they said this person is a gold digger? What are they doing to the people that are gold digging them? Are they, is their handful, because they didn't call them criminals, they didn't call them a thief, they just said they are gold diggers. So you, a gold digger came to you and you just hand over all your money. What were you doing with them? Why were your, so it's all about awareness. If you're going to tie that back to what we are talking today, it's about everyone being aware. So don't go and do marriage because they said you are right. Do marriage because you are ready, because you know left your left from your right, because you've seen it, you know what you want. Don't go and say because you have finished university now, the next thing that I need a Prince Charming. As a matter of fact, I've told my kids there's no Prince Charming, there's nothing, like nobody's going to come and rescue you. You are going to rescue yourself. Do you understand what I mean? So it's all about
Yeah,
awareness. That's
sure.
what I am saying. So if I know what I want, like I've mentioned in Dangote now, a lot of people will watch this video and be like, oh gosh, what's this girl talking about? Yes, I know what I want. But you did what they didn't
What do
ask
I
me is,
want?
what do I want this guy for? See? But because I mentioned Dangote now, the idea is that she want to be sleeping with Dangote, oh, she want to do this with Dangote, oh, she want to, that is the assumption. I want a Dangote in my life. What do I need him for?
Me, I
No,
actually
no,
want a stepdad that's like a dangote. I want a daddy, a stepdad, not sugar daddy. I
because
want a I want a stepdad so that
yeah,
I don't have to do anything. I just have to be there and be cute. I'll be collecting my money.
because connection with people like that is not about, they've seen quite a lot of ladies, so it's not about just sleeping and waking up. It's about using your high key. It's about what you can deliver. It's about how eloquent you are. It's about what you can present. So now, when I say it now, an average, if it's a white person watching this, it's like, okay, who is Dangote? Why does this lady want Dangote? But if it's a Nigerian that is watching this, they saw Dangote. I know this girl. She would have been doing this for a very long time. That is the
Abby, you are
assumption.
a lot more honorable than I am because if I met Dangote now, I'll be trying to get him to marry my mother so that I would never have to
No,
work again.
no, no, no. Look at it. Look at it from this angle. Look at it from this angle. It's all about awareness. Now, will Dangote marry your mother?
Of course not.
So that's what we're talking about, awareness. So if you are aware, you will know that rather than looking for your mom marrying that, you would have looked at all you needed was, what's that connection if I want to be
Of course, yeah.
doing this? So do I need you for the rest of my life? No. Maybe just one day. We just see each other, we just bye, okay, bye. Dinner, lunch.
I just need a daddy figure who's going to take care of me, and I hate this adult lifestyle. I'm no longer interested in it. I want to be a baby girl for life. I'm tired of adulting. I don't want to pay bills again. I want to be able to pick up the phone and go, Daddy, my
Yeah,
bills. I'm like,
but
don't worry, I'll take care of it.
you can get all that by being strategic. not the way that you are saying it, by being strategic.
Of
And
course,
which is
I'm just
all about,
teasing. I'm
I
messing
know,
about.
which is all about these prenums, because people come watching us, they'll be thinking, this prenup is all about strategy. It's all about what you want. If you have not watched it, so go and listen from the beginning and then see what PK said. It's all about
Mm.
what this person wants, what that person wants. We sit down. No, I don't want this. I don't want that. I want one girl. I want one child. If you don't have it, what happens? If you don't see, everything is not about the devil.
Oh
I know
yeah.
some of us like devil a lot. We can't do without putting devil in our whatever. But it's not all about devil. You hear because for me, I cringe when people say the devil made me do it. I said the devil did not kill you, did not let you be going on the motorway and a car just smashed you. But it's only that devil just pushed you to come and be lying anyhow. Sorry guys, if it's I know the people that are always very posh, but allow me to be.
Okay, Ron. Because Ron is like, hey.
Sorry, Rod. I'm sorry I took over. You know I don't
Ron,
say every time. So
PK is tickled pink. So I'm not even coming to you yet. Ron, okay, because I want us to still remember that we're talking about prenuptial agreements. Are they necessary? Are they relevant? Or are they the kiss of death to a relationship? Because we do know, especially amongst our own people. Now, of course, this show is being watched by many, many, many people who are not Africans, but I'm talking about our own people and in particular Nigerians. Anytime you mention anything about in case of, as we say, in case of incasity, in case of something happening, we don't like to hear that. We want to always put this thing of everything is going to be perfect. But we all know that life is not perfect. There's nothing that is perfect. Even the richest families have problems. I mean, come on, we've seen it with the royal family and all that stuff. Everybody's got problems. And I personally think that if people come together, like as I was saying, in my case, when we were talking about everything, we're talking about kids. What if we couldn't have them because I was older than him? So we also knew the possibility of me being older might have problems and that kind of stuff. What if this again? You can't see a man and know whether he's sterile or not until you've gone in and then you figure out that he actually might be able to perform, but he can't actually have kids, all that kinds of. So we had to have those discussions. We had to ask ourselves the really painful, like, ooh, I'm turning pink kind of questions, like, oh God, do I have to re-talk about this? But we had to talk about those things. And the reason why I think it's really good to have prenuptial agreements, especially in the Nigerian context, is because many people end up not doing wills. And we've seen how people just drop dead at, and it's unfortunate. There are people who, I mean, Sound Sultan, I'm older than Sound Sultan, and he died. And there are people who are older than me. Rachel Oniga just died. There are people, like not up to 80, not up to 90, and they're dropping dead. And the worst thing you can do, in fact, we're going to do that topic about wills, because there are some people that as soon as their spouse says, don't you think we should do a will? Immediately they start checking the food for poison. They're like, this woman wants to kill me. That's why she said we should do will. Immediately they're already thinking that somebody wants to exit them out of the out of life. But the thing is, I believe that if you have a prenup and you're silly enough not to have a will, I have a will. I have a living will. I don't have much, but whatever I have, God forbid something happens, at least I know that I can go before my Lord, in clear conscience. You understand what I'm saying? And when you say to people who have a will, like, hey, somebody wants to kill it. But if you have a prenup, especially a prenup that gets reevaluated maybe every other year or every 2 years, and you're silly enough not to have a will, at least your partner and your kids, if you have kids, or the people that are your family, get protected some way or the other. Unlike where you have like men who hold such high positions in society, women who are educated, being in relationships where they don't have wills and anything, and then the man drops dead, and then on the day of the funeral They start fighting on who is going to pour sand, who is going to come first, who's going to do this, whose children is more important. And then they're in court for years fighting over everything. Meanwhile, the man is gone. So, if, in a way, I think if you can't do a will, do a prenup. It makes so much sense. And for the people who are married, who say, hey, we're already married now, so which one is prenup again? You can do a post-nup. There are post-nuptial agreements where you've gotten married and then you realize that, oh, you know what, we were silly. We actually went and got married without making an agreement. But you know what, we can rectify it. There are post-nuptial agreements that can be done. So I think that it's a very important thing. So PK, you've been smiling, so I want to hear what you've got to say. And for the people who are trying to come on, because I've seen a few people try to come on, please, you need to put on your camera and your mic, and then I'll be able to add you. If you don't, then you will come on, but I won't be able to add you on. So Moni Moon, please put on your camera and your mic, because I want to add you on.
Oh, there's something actually that we're missing, right? And I think it's the fact that when it comes to relationships, we're very emotional about it. And once you're using the emotional part of your mind or your brain to think, your logical side shuts down. And so this whole having a contract, the prenup and all that actually comes from the logical side. But then your relationship, that whole love, that feeling, that, it's the emotional side, right? And that's the reason why people do stupid things on that side that they will not do logically with any other thing. How do you get somebody who is making decisions based on emotions to basically switch to the logical, right? So that they can do what is right. It's about the only thing actually that you go in making decisions that are emotional, very crazy to the logical side, but basically it makes a whole lot of sense to the emotional side. To say I'm in love. Usually people are in love with the wrongest person if you apply logic to it, right? But, logically, the whole thing is always wrong. People will be in love with somebody they cannot be with ever. People will be in love with, somebody they should not have gotten entangled with. People, it's an emotional decision. People will be in love with somebody else when they're actually already married, right? It's an emotional thing. It's just crazy. It's not that they don't, if they can, anytime they now get into trouble or whatever, and then you're now asking them at the state when they are logical, they can tell you that they knew it was wrong, or they knew that this could be the consequence. Well, usually they try and put the blame on the devil. That's all part of logical, right? But people make these decisions in an emotional state. How do you get them to make the decisions that are right on the logical?
Okay, I actually have on with us, and I'm really excited about this. We've got a lawyer in our midst, so who better to break down the technicalities of a prenup, a postnup, and maybe even a will? My screen is actually not letting me see the name to say, but Olubak. Please, can you you're welcome to the show. Thank you so much. You're a first time person, and thank you for joining us. And we've been talking about prenuptial agreements, if they're necessary, relevant, or they're the kiss of death to relationships. So we know that you're a lawyer, so we're really looking forward to your thoughts. Apoliti, I'll be adding you on. So just hang on, please. But we just want to hear from Olubak.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So basically, prenuptial agreements are agreements you sign before a marriage between husband and wife, specifying that if anything happens in the event of a divorce, this is how they're going to share the property and assets. Now, usually in the US and the UK, where it's it's more prevalent. They follow the letter of the law, although it can be invalidated by one of the contracting parties not being able to contract, like age-wise, you're not old enough to marry and all. In Africa, Nigeria especially, it is not really our thing. It's not a thing we consider, like, essentially the generations before us to tell you stick with the marriage. It's not so bad. It didn't kill your grandmother, it didn't kill your mother and your father, it will not kill you. But this generation now has moved past that. We have now reached the stage where we want to follow, like, it's not a life sentence to marry somebody. If the marriage is not working, it's better to choose life than to die in the relationship. Now, a post-nuptial agreement is an agreement that is made after a marriage. Now, this is, well, it's more like a negotiation. At this point, they are married, but they are seeing that there is possibility of a divorce coming or a separation coming. So they decide how they're going to separate the assets from the basis of the marriage and whatever, and they do all that. So that is where they are. That's the difference. One is pre-marriage, one is after the marriage. Okay, sorry. Sorry, what other question was that?
And then
I know.
wills, like if you could touch briefly on wills.
Okay, a will essentially is an instrument that a person uses to share his property before he gets deceased. It comes into force after the person's demise, male or female. Usually it shares the property. Now, our courts generally uphold the will, except you have some clauses in it that are abhorrent to our law, against our constitution. Like, for instance, you cannot specify that you must be buried with 14 human heads and all that. But essentially, well, it's been known to happen. It just didn't happen. But essentially, it's just to share the properties to ensure that there's no fight. Some people go as far as ensuring that this is how I want my property to be shared. But anybody that wants to contest it in court will lose all rights to it if they do not win the case. So that's basically what it is. I think it's actually a very, very good thing.
Sorry?
I said I think it's a very good thing. It's something that at this point in time, once you have any property, start planning how to write a will. Nobody wants to die, but death can happen at any time.
Exactly. So can a prenuptial agreement or postnuptial agreement actually stand as a will in a marriage or in a relationship?
No, it cannot.
So if the person has if they've updated, let's say they updated their prenup, or their postnup, they updated it, and then 6 months after, one of them passes away, that postnup cannot stand as a will.
No, it cannot. They are two separate entities. A will comes into play after the person's death. A postnup agreement in the event of a divorce while they are still living. If the person, they divorce in the or if somebody dies while they're trying to go through a divorce, a will, if there's no will, the person dies intestate, the law would follow the natural justice, and this is the person's wife, whether they're in the process of divorce or not. That is why you have instances where people are separated, one of the spouses dies, and the other person inherits the properties. So
because
the prenup
writes a will.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, it looks like NEPA has struck where you are.
Oh, it did. NEPA, they decided to. We've had like the whole day. They just decided that today, no.
They decided to go to shame also.
They said, now you're online. How dare you be online? Who do you think you are? You are going to hide your face.
You look good in that.
In the words of my friend, my village people found.
I want our viewers to really get the nitty-gritty of this. So let's say that a couple have a prenup, that they've said that, okay, this is how I want our children to be raised. In the case of we separate or whatever, or this is the agreement that we are making regards to our money, the way our children are going to be raised, the properties that we've got. These are the decisions that we're making, but they didn't get around to writing a will, so that prenup is negated completely.
Yes, it is. No,
Oh.
well, technically speaking, assuming the prenup can actually go as far as, oh, it's extends to this is how the children should be raised and all that, it doesn't really matter because they cover two separate things. A will generally deals with property and monies and property. Prenups deal with how to share assets. So if you have what do I call it, a trust for the children that both of them decide to be paying money into, and you incorporate it into the will, it will stand. Basically, like, okay, for the educational purposes for the children, it would stand. But
Okay.
not
but not.
But not that okay, this is a prenup, this is what I'm entitled to. After the person dies, the will supersedes everything else.
But what if the person doesn't leave a will? Then it's intestate.
Yes, if you die intestate, it's even worse because the prenup will not even come into it at all. The government would now, they have certain laid down procedures. You pay a tax on the properties, then they share the properties according to wives, children. If you don't have a wife, you don't have children, your family, your parents. If you don't have any of them, your brothers, your sisters, you don't have half brothers, half sisters. If you don't have step brothers, step sisters, if you don't have, the state takes your property.
Whoa. Okay.
So if you don't have acknowledged children, you're done.
Oh, okay. That is scary to think about. Well, while everyone is still thinking about the questions they want to ask our lawyer, Khaleesi, thank you so much for joining the show. This is your first time. A round of applause for you. Thank you for joining us. And we've been talking about prenuptial. Oh, this is your second time. Forgive me.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It's your second time.
Even I know it's our second time.
Yeah. So we're talking about prenuptial agreements, if they are necessary, relevant, or the kiss of death to relationships. So what are your thoughts? And if you've got questions for our resident lawyer, because you're now a resident lawyer, whether you like it or not, please, also throw that in there.
Well, I think they are necessary. I think they are necessary because, well, I think people should look at marriage, even though they are in love or should be in love when they are going into it, but I think they should look at it as, I don't want to be cold and say a contract, but people have expectations. And since we have come into our own, we should, how it was done before is that you kind of trick the other person into going into marriage with you and then hold the person hostage, because even if you cannot fulfill your own end of the contract. But I think right now we should be aware of what we're going into and be aware of what the other person is expecting from me, so that if it doesn't work out, there are other options, which is dissolution of the contract. So I think we should both be aware. We should write down what we want, and if there is a change anywhere along the line, I think we can also revisit whatever the contract is. And that's my take. I don't think it's a case of death. I don't think it's. I think it depends on how you approach it, and if it is approached logically, I think it's a good thing.
Okay. My alarm is going off, so I'm trying to sort that out. But Ron, have you got anything to say to what Olubaka said now?
Come in. Okay.
Can you hear? Can you hear him? I can't. I'm not hearing it.
Mhm.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. So the way I see it is that it might sound scary, but that is a part of life, and one should just prepare in these circumstances. From what the lawyer said and what I pick, it's important that one gets legally married. Legally married, even first and foremost, even without the prenup or the will and all that. First base, marriage certificate. Then after that, we can talk about the will, or if you're doing a prenup, come
But you
together
can't
and
get married. You can't get married before a prenup.
sorry.
You can't get married before a prenup.
No, I'm just saying, if you are getting you need the sorry, I reversed it the other way. You get the prenup, marriage, and will. It's very, very, very important. Very important. So, uh, well, it's something we all have to do, and we all have to look into it. It's not something we should take lightly. Like it doesn't matter. It's really, really, and the reason why we've not taken it seriously from our end, maybe as Africans, is because when things like this happen, we have tradition and culture that tries to help, but we are now in modern times. People don't build or have assets in the village anymore. People have become global; they're everywhere. So obviously, you don't expect village people to come and be telling the person you leave behind how to share property or share to the other person. One has to be proactive. So if you know you have a wide reach, for goodness sakes, just do a will or something. It's really, really important to protect the wife and the family. So, Oga PK, okay, you're just coming in. So, were you listening when the lawyer was talking?
I
Yo,
heard part of what he said. I actually had a question for him that what if
okay, he'll
you
soon
have
be back. He's trying to
yeah.
sort out his
I wanted to
network.
find out what if you have what if you have a next of kin listed on every asset? You know how when you're signing up for an asset or buying one
He's back. You can ask him again.
that you
Ask him
sometimes
again.
yeah. I don't know if you can hear me. So my question is,
I
what
can.
if you have a next what if you
I
have a
am
next
so
of kin?
sorry. I think I apologize. I think because I made fun of NEPA, they decided to strike on my own end here too. Please, oh,
Okay.
village people, forgive me.
So I
So
was saying
yeah,
that
PK, go back.
yeah, I was saying, what if you have a next of kin listed on your asset? So you know how when you have, let's say, insurance at work, they will ask you who's the next of kin in case something happens. If you're buying like shares, they will ask you when you're filling out the form, who's your next of kin. If you have next of kin listed on all these things, do you still need a will?
All back.
Wait, are you there?
Lawyer, I finished my question.
Wait,
NEPA has held his mouth. Well, while we're waiting for him to come on and answer the question, Shima said it should be a prerequisite, as such arrangements would definitely resolve a lot of problems. Even in love, one needs to be pragmatic. So that's the comment we've got there. So, Olubak, are you back with us? Hey, up Nepa.
I agree with Shima.
Yeah, Shima's made a very, very serious point there. Even in love, one needs to be practical. You can't be saying, oh, we're entering this union and it's to death, whether we like it or not. Even if it's killing us, we must stay in it. Because unfortunately, life doesn't work out like that. It doesn't work out like that. There are people who really, really want to be married, who really, really love the person, want to be together with that person, but then they're just forces that are against them that won't let that union stay, and they try everything. At least I know that in the last 3 weeks, I have seen no more than 8 films where this statement was said: love is just not enough. When they're talking about being married and they say love is just not enough. So you can love the person desperately, you want to be with them desperately, but sometimes love is not just enough. You just have to go your separate ways, because if you don't, then it spells death. Oh, okay, let me bring back Khaleesi. Khaleesi, you've been listening to us. So, unfortunately, I don't know what's happened to our lawyer, because we asked a very serious question there, which he would be perfect to answer. But while we're waiting, I think he's back. Yes, he's back. He's back. He's back! Yay!
My village
Okay,
people
did you
struck the
hear the
second time.
question? Hey,
Yes, he was asking. So, I think Ogake was asking about next of kin.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let me give you an example with a case I handled. Now, this man died intestate. He had a wife and a son. He had an older daughter by a previous marriage and all. Now, the wife was in one of the houses, and he was a very rich man. He had lots of houses. He had accounts in about 5 or 6 banks and everything. Now, in one of his accounts, the wife was listed as next of kin. So it was that bank that called her one day, like maybe 2 years after her husband died, that, madam, you didn't tell us that you are no longer the next of kin. She said, what do you mean? Like, your husband's brother is saying he's next of kin. He has letters from the courts and everything. And she was like, what do you mean? And then we had to go and find out that the older brother of this man, he came from America to Nigeria. He went to the court, said the man didn't have a next of kin. And the wife wasn't aware. She's not educated. So they went and got letters of administration claiming that the brother was the next of kin. So he went to his bank accounts, emptied them, went to the properties, got rent for about 5 or 10 years from people, even sold some properties. The wife was not aware of it. It was the one bank that called her. And when they called her, they had emptied 5 or 6 accounts, sold properties and everything. We took the case to court. She won the case, but before they could apprehend the man, he went back to America. Now, the only reason she knew was she was next of kin somewhere. If not, she would not have known it was too late.
So it is so important that once anybody starts to own anything, even if it's a transistor radio, it's time to start writing a will to make sure that it goes to who it's supposed to go to. Because if one thing I have come to realize in life, money changes people. The people that you would think that they don't care whether they have 1 naira, 5 naira, it's because 5,000 is not sitting in front of them. That's why they look like they don't care. Let them see money that calls money by name and sends it on errands. Their character will change in a way that will scare you. So
I've told my wife, when I make money, I'm trading her in.
You want the women here to kill you, right?
I already know that
Please by your left. Huh? Are you watching your left hand of your screen? Your lower left.
Yeah, I'm checking. I'm checking to see what's going to happen. I can feel my village people coming for me. Okay. My village people are coming for me. I can see it.
My heart is not there. Whatever happens to you, accept it.
The one on top and the one below, lower, and the one below, lower right. That's okay.
I've seen it. No, at least mine is money. No, mine is even money. My wife says if she meets Cristiano Ronaldo or Kylian Mbappe, it's over for
End of
me.
story.
She's going to leave me. So, man, at least it's money.
So, PK, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. I also remember that I watched an episode of Baba Salah that he got his gratuity after working for very long, and then he called his wife and said, "How many years have you been with me now?" The woman said, "Yeah, about 25 years." He said, "You know what? It's time for you to retire. I'll give you full benefits. Make it come, they go in Papa house."
He reach your
Nigerian men and the stunts they pull. I swear to God. Okay. Does
I was gonna
anybody
say
else have
something.
any question?
No, I don't even have a question, but I was just gonna say that if the men, if they key into this prenuptial arrangement, it will be easier because women, we are the love birds. We are usually the one that loves without common sense. We are the one that self sabotage. We are the one that decide I have to be the one, looking after the kids. While the man that is not any enough than me continue working. I have to be the one that leaves my job that I hear more than my husband. While my husband is just like, okay, another kettle of fish entirely. So I think if the men, if they see the goodness in this particular idea, then we probably will be able to, see this working in Nigeria. But it starts with the mindset. So it's just like women calling for ally. I know it's not a woman thing, but we need allies, men who understand this thing, to understand that this is not, and that's if this is, it's about freedom as well. It's about knowing that if you have it, you're both free. It's not just one person. And that's why we always encourage women that you need to get your life first before thinking of marriage, so that it's not like somebody is doing you evil. So get yourself together, get your heart together before going to meet somebody that you love. Because love, like Abby just said, love for me, I know that long, God knows when, love is not enough. So and love is just a mere, oh God, is a
Abby
feeling.
was stealing my Abby was stealing my quotes.
Oh, Abby, okay, so the coach told.
Abby believes in Walt Disney Love.
You understand?
No,
So
but I do too. I love
Don't do
love.
that.
No, I love love. Oh, I love love. So long as love loves me back, I love love very much.
yeah, so
But
and one of the quotes that I put on my post recently is that you can love, and it's good to love, and it's good. I'm always in love as well, but I just make sure my head is not away from me when I'm
You see,
falling in
that's the
love.
thing. I was looking at you when you said, "Oh, women love," and then she'll go and give up her job, even if she's anymore. In what planet?
No, they do it. No, Abby. Now, I'm being realistic. It's called self-sabotaging. We are the one, we walk on the scope and out of scope. As a woman, we go whatever they didn't send us. Even you will see men. You'll be like, a man will be like, "Oh no, it's okay. I'll do it." No, 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 no. I'm the wife. We put ourselves in that situation, not the men. Most times, it's because of
Never.
the environment, what we've been taught, what we've been programmed. Now, they didn't program us by cutting our head, though. They program us stylishly. Somehow we got everything in and we put ourselves in that situation. Then we blame the man. After everything I've done for you, who sent you? Who? And that's what I said. Nobody sent you to do that. You do that yourself. I know you don't
Let
want to
it
hear
be on record. Let it be
that.
on record. I'm from Badagry, right? But I
Hmm,
schooled in Ijebu. Eh?
yeah,
Before
yeah.
my 1 naira would drop for anybody, that
But
person must have waka
see,
far.
I know.
Because
I mean,
even when I was even when I was making it, I was earning more, and there was no way on earth I was going to leave my job because I want to support somebody. I'm already
no,
accustomed to
no,
a
no.
but you're
lifestyle.
not in the
I'm not going
majority.
to be
You're not in the
ah.
majority of
Exactly,
women.
Abby.
see,
Abby, you can do that, okay? But what you cannot
Abby,
do, see, you can even afford to do that. But what you're saying is that whilst you're doing that, what are you self-loving yourself or you're self-hating yourself? Are you putting yourself in a difficult situation where you cannot come out? Are you putting yourself in a deep ocean when you will need rescue 911 and they won't even come there to rescue you before you die?
Hey,
A lot of women do that. I'm not even joking. And so it bleeds my
I
heart
do.
when I hear people say, I'm in love. I'm like, okay, what part of love gone are you? Is it the up love or down love? Or
and the
what
thing
is it?
again is, my fiance is someone who is hardworking. He's someone who is a go get, like, he wasn't a lazy person sitting at home. And even when he was at home, he was always useful. He learned how to go and shop in African shops because most of the time I couldn't do it. He was always thinking one step ahead. So there is no way you'll balance and come and say, I'm the king, I'm the captain, I'm
No,
this, and
this
you're doing nothing. And I'm
in fairness to the men, and I'm talking about UK. I don't know about Nigeria, but in fairness to the men in the UK, they are not the one doing this thing. It's the women from Nigeria that have learned how to be slaves that are now putting, and I'm sorry, oh, I'm sorry, I'm begging. So this is just my opinion. It's not Abi's opinion, it's my opinion. And you can, have my facts and I have my statistics to say this. Is
Oh,
the
yeah,
women
yeah.
in the UK
It's your
that
opinion.
are that's what I mean. It's the women in the UK that will do this. In the women that they will be like, oh, my husband can do that. He's the head. And it's good for a man to be the head. Don't get me wrong. I want somebody to be my head. Honestly, I want you to be my head, but you just have to be responsible. You can't just be a fish head or goat head or something. You have to have a proper head to be able to
chicken
be there.
heads.
Yeah, you have to, yeah, you have to be, you want to be head, be giddy by head, and so that people, that gives me a bit of leeway as well. Head is responsibility. If we know this, men will not be fighting for head because most people that are saying, the day you are asking people, do you know I'm the head? You have already lose that head already because you don't
Oh
need to
God.
mention it. So that's where we have to get to. So I am pleading, if you're a woman watching, so stop and stop self-sabotaging. No one cares if you have done this for a man for 100 years. If you like, wash plate, wash, if you like, know how to sleep and wake up. A man that does not see value in you will still go out and go and look for somebody else. Put value in yourself. Work on you.
Yeah.
And that's why, because if you say this to a lady now, how can a woman go to a man and say, I want to do post-nuptial, but what did you people call it now? I want
Was
to
not
do
Prenup.
this.
Prenuptial.
You can't. Do you
Prenup.
mean? Sorry, let me put a bit of my African this in there. They can't do it. You know why? You go and meet your daddy, our daddy. You go and say, Daddy, oh, I want to do this. How? You that you are still putting food in front of daddy and you are kneeling down. You want to now go and meet daddy and say, Daddy, I want to do this. Are you
Or
ready
you
to
want
go?
to kill yourself, finish and
Yeah,
say,
that is your
let
God.
us do will.
No, no.
I hate it when you said you can. No, if you not done it in the first, you can go and do post. Which mouth would you use to say it? Which mouth? Let's be realistic.
Post will
Nigeria
not even
people
work in Nigeria.
eh?
Post will not work in Nigeria. Post will
Yeah,
not work in
please,
Nigeria.
it's the plea that
Post
we
not.
are begging you people now. Please, we are begging. We are begging.
No,
Everybody should have
you're
their
not. You're not begging me. Oh.
no you in
Go and
No,
beg your
not
particular.
senator.
you. She's saying in
No,
general.
I know what you're saying. I'm saying I know what
Yeah.
you're saying because the thing is, for it to have power in Nigeria, the laws
Mm-hmm.
must be amended to reflect it. As much as we say this for the next 100 years, if our laws don't reflect it, I
Mm.
mean, do you understand that bigamy is a crime in Nigeria?
Yeah,
Officially, marrying more than one wife is
officially.
a crime in Nigeria. But I
Mm-hmm.
can bet you the judge that they will take you to has 2 or 3 wives. The lawyer
So there you
prosecuting
go.
you has 2 wives. The
The
one
benefit
defending you has 4.
the beneficiaries of any form of abuse,
Wait,
they
please.
never
Can you
talk.
say that again? Are you saying that my
PK is
wait?
like, say
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
now?
Yeah. So
Say it so.
sorry. He said bigamy. I think is that different from
Yes,
polygamy?
bigamy,
Because
marry more than one wife.
He didn't say
Yes,
by Gabby. He said big. By
bigamy is a
Gabby.
crime in Nigeria.
I'm confused here. Are you saying that I cannot in Nigeria I cannot marry multiple wives? Is illegal?
It's
It's
illegal.
illegal to marry multiple wives. But you know what they did? What they did was you can marry one wife in the courts, that's the court marriage, the registry.
Mhm.
You can marry as many as you want under the traditional method.
Under
Both
Ah.
of them are
customary.
cohabiting. Yes. But if you have a divorce or if you die, the wife of the wife you married in the registry, yes, the red is not court, it's registry. Let's be exact, it's registry, not court. But you know what I'm saying? The court wife takes precedence over all of them.
Wow.
So she gets everything.
Wow.
Yep.
I did not know that.
But it's
an advocate of marrying mother. You see,
Exactly.
oh, you know, wanted to go and marry more wives on top of me. God has got you.
Abi, let me figure this thing out now that I have a lawyer. How do I fix it? The one do I have to
You cannot fix it. You're stuck with me.
because I don't
you
want.
can you take one.
In fact, the last person I want to get anything is the registry one. I want the multiple one.
I've already taken everything. So if
you have to divorce
tomorrow,
her. No, you have to divorce the wife. Wait, okay, good. I have a case exactly like this that I handled. Now, basically, the man left abandoned, like the last child was 32. In court, the girl said she had never seen her father. He abandoned them over 30 something years ago before she was born. The mom sponsored the siblings to go to school and everything. Now, the girl was 32. I think the man was 70 something. He came to divorce his wife. Why? Because he didn't want her to inherit his properties. Wife said she has not been living in the man for 33 plus years. Which property is she trying to inherit? It was a very, very solid case. He had one small girl in the village that realized enough that if she marries him traditionally and not through the court, she will lose everything.
So did he succeed in divorcing the wife, the ex-wife?
Yes, the wife did not want, she didn't care. She didn't need anything from him. So, I mean, 30 something years, it didn't matter to her. The children were taking care of her. The man now had the effrontery. This is the part that even vexed me. To demand monthly upkeep from the children.
Which children?
The daughter. The children. Yes. The daughter told them in court that if this man should come near her, she will stab him in this court and go to jail. That if he says any nonsense, she will kill him here. And she won't bother killing him outside, she'll kill him here.
Did they tell him on which bike he could hike on?
The daughter told him. Yes, the daughter told him straight. He is.
But that's the reality. That's still all about what we are saying. Awareness. Both parties be aware before they use bread to get your soup.
To carry your stew.
I think the reason why these things have been murky back home is because over the years, these things have been handled by family and cultures and customs. So we are now moving.
And imams.
No, pastors don't fit into this mix. It's usually family members. So, but now we are seeing the thing moving from a personal family space into civil courts now. People are actually exercising the letters of the law now. It wasn't so before. Before, if someone dies, you know that, okay, it's for the first son, second son, a third daughter, fifth daughter. We know how to share these things. But now, because the man is not just having properties within that geographical space, that village, what they call it, jurisdiction. Yeah. Now somebody can have 2 houses in London, another one in Los Angeles, 7 in Cape Town, you know. So is the village people going to go and start going around to monitor these properties? It has to be executed by a court, a competent a court of law. So yes, we're moving to that direction now. The whole time is we're in a global village. One must protect his family at all costs.
Okay, so because we are 2 hours in area up, it's amazing how when we start to talk about these things, time just flies. So obviously, from everything we've discussed, and I really want to say thank you to you, Olu, because it's really been wonderful to have a legal representation, a representative here to tell us about, the legal front and back of this whole thing. I think what we can conclude on together is that, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that it's really important to have a really logical head screwed on when you are dealing with matters of the heart. It's all right to be
Very,
all
very
airy
important.
fairy, be in love and all that stuff, but it's important also to think about the nitty gritties of the day to day, because a lot of people are fixated on the wedding. That irritates me to no end. I can't stand it. I hate weddings. I mean, the thought, if you want to kill me quickly, force me to have a wedding. I would die
White
for you
wedding,
gladly.
white wedding, respect.
White wedding specifically, I can't stand it. I can't stand it, because what you see a lot of women doing is my day, it's my day, it's my day. Lady, you are going to share hopefully a lifetime with this person, and all you're concerned about is that one, not even a full day, a couple of hours that you're going to feed people, many of whom don't like you, so that you can show off yourself in a dress. Your guy is looking dapper and all of that.
You
And
know
then
what?
what happens?
And we
You
see
know
your
what's
wedding.
funny? Abby, you know what's funny? What's funny is that you're just repeating the same event. Tradition, and either ways you look at it, scripturally or anyhow
See,
you look at it.
do you know? Do you know?
Repeating
Do you know
white
something?
is repeating traditional wedding in a white
I
man.
see. I told my wife that for the sake of peace, we're going to get married twice, traditional and registry. Now, unfortunately for me, they don't have a traditional wedding for her people. Their tradition was church. So we had to have a church wedding. Otherwise, I was never going to step into a church to get married. Like I said, this is their tradition. Till I see Prince George or somebody coming to marry in the Calabari traditional way, I can follow it. But otherwise, no, hell no. But
White
my
wedding is
village people
actually
refuse to allow me to be great.
that's what people don't
I
know. They
know,
think it's
I know.
scriptural.
That's what I'm saying. My village people did not want me to be great. Me, that I wanted a small wedding, 63 people. I had counted 63. Unfortunately, I went to go and marry where I did my secondary school.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
that is 50 people too much for me. 50 people too
No,
much. I can't do.
You
Abby,
whether you can
at
control
the
your
end of
wedding.
the day, I had over 700 and something people.
Hell, I would just check out.
Do you know how bad it is? Do you know how bad it was? My mom's full family, all her siblings, plus my siblings, and we married in Jos. I got married in Jos.
In-laws too.
Some people entered into the country just to go to Jos, and they left the country. Like I saw them at the wedding, and I'm back in America, or I'm back in Canada. Like, what? Like, they did not come for anything. They came for the wedding and they went back.
No, fam.
It was crazy.
What's the problem?
No, I'm not. No, you are there. Stop complaining. Stop complaining.
What was the problem? Should I have been?
I'm not saying
one
there's
person left. Should I have made it 759?
No,
I
you
should
don't
have been there.
No, 749 actually, but that's not the point. The thing is, unfortunately for me, I'd attended a lot of my classmates' weddings around the country. So
49.
I'd driven 15 hours for a
came.
wedding. Everybody came. That's just my classmates minus my family. It was crazy.
Well,
then my family had to prove they knew people.
We have about 2 minutes, so I just want us to conclude. I think it's really important with this discussion. I think, in fact, to me, this is one of the most important discussions we've had since we started MungalowCroonings. And, I honestly think that it's something that we need to have these discussions more, to make it more normalized, where we're talking about wills, we're talking about prenups, we're talking about these are the things that step away from that whole brouhaha of the wedding and look at the marriage. If you decide to spend your life with this person, then really look at the nitty-gritties, because that's what is life. It's not this party that you're going to have, that you're going to, dance and have a great time and all that stuff. Or many brides that I see that are miserable, when they're having their weddings and all that. It's not about that. It's about the day-to-day things to make the people you say you love and care about, that you really take care of them. So both ways, because if the girl comes from a rich family, she's got property that's been given to her, and they've got kids, then she should be looking at, okay, my kids and my spouse should be comfortable. Same thing with the man. And if we really put our spouses or our partners really in the focus of things, and not all these extra things out there, then maybe we will have more marriages that actually stay together than fall apart. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you, Abi. Thank you, Kalesi, Olubak, PK, of course. So you see, you can't divorce me. I'm stuck with you.
My name is Olubodun.
Ron.
Please, before I get a new name.
Sorry?
My
What
name
did
is
you say?
Olubodun.
Oh, okay. I keep saying Olubak. That's okay. I could. Oh, it's D. Sorry.
Don't you
Olubodun. I'm
think
sorry.
it's easier?
So everyone who's called in, everyone who's sent the text, so everyone who's watched the show, thank you so much. Really, really, truly appreciate you. Until we do this again, same time, same place. Take care and stay blessed. Bye.
Bye.